Hi, welcome back to the Scent Advocate. This video is being made at the request of a viewer that I'm very, very fond of. I appreciate the request and all of your wonderful support and comments. You didn't give me permission to share your name, so I won't do that. But these fragrances are from the house you requested I review. They are rich, spicy, addictive, wonderful, and they are all from the house of Penhaligons. That's right. So tonight are all of my full bottles from the house of Penhaligons, and two non-full bottles. They're small, travel size. And then I'll get into a little bit of the fragrances that I enjoy from Penhaligons, but have not moved forward with purchasing. And I'll explain why. So let's go over the beverage for the evening. It's water. Yes, it's pretty late at this point, and I definitely wasn't feeling up to anything too strong, so we're just sticking with water tonight. And today's scent of the day is Diva by Ungaro. Oh yes, let's see, there we go. This is a recent purchase of mine. Absolutely beautiful floral sheep. This is from the nose of Jacques Polge, and this is 50 ml. It's an EDP. It's a 1983 launch for this fragrance, although this is a recent purchase and the most recent version of it, whatever that may be. And I paid a whopping $25 for it. The notes in this are aldehydes, tuberose, coriander, cardamom, bergamot. Very long list, including civet and oak moss. This is warm, sophisticated, wise, very rosy, quite a bit of rose in this, but and some carnation. So, you know, there's a seriousness, there's a nostalgia to it. I will tell you that there are very distinct phases to this fragrance. It opens up like a big chypre with that very structured oak moss and a strong oak moss earthy opening, and then it glides right into a citrus and civet and settles down into rose. I just adore it. That's the scent of the day. Let's jump right in to the first of the fragrances I'll talk about this evening. Let's start out with Legacy of Petra from the house of Penhaligons. So this is a 100 ml EDP. It's a 2022 release, and it goes for about $150. That's at some of the gray market or discount sites. It can go much higher than that, but definitely look for a deal on this one. The nose behind it is Natalie Gracia Chetto. The notes in here are green tea, fennel, bergamot, licorice, myrrh, olibanum, rosemary, fennel. Oh, I think I said fennel twice. Sorry about that. Vanilla and woods. Yeah, this is a very licorice type fragrance, which I love. I think it gives it a sense of occasion, a sense of formality. And at the same time, it's got that warm benzoin and that smoky kind of incensey olibanum. Makes me think of Brooklyn. Years ago, my family is from Bensonhurst originally, and you could go into these wonderful Italian and sometimes even Sicilian restaurants, and this is what after dinner smelled like. The black coffee, or the demi-tasse, the espresso. A lot of times we put anisette in it, and that's a licorice flavored liqueur. And there might be a others drinking coffee with biscottis, and the biscottis have anisette flavor. And the warmth of the post-dinner crowd, you know, everyone just kind of talking, and there's candlelight, and those restaurants I remember tended to be dark and kind of mysterious, and this just takes me right back. And the familiarity of those notes is just wonderfully comforting to me. The adventure of it, I think, is the mystery of a restaurant like that, and the nostalgia of a trip back in time, even if ever so briefly. Legacy of Petra by Penhaligons. Next, let's look at Alula. This fragrance is a 2024 release. This goes for $295. It is 100 ml and it's an EDP. The notes in this one are cardamom, black pepper, plum, tobacco, saffron, vanilla, and turmeric. Again, a little on the warm side, maybe a lot on the warm side, but spicier. Oh, goodness. You know, it's hard to put into words just how wonderful these fragrances smell. The richness of the dark plum, a dark, non-sweet fruit, almost jammy. So imagine the inside of a dried plum, that thick, kind of soft fruit on the inside. If you were to take the inside of a dried plum out, that texture is what you get. And then the cardamom warms it up ever so much, gives it a sense of, you know, warm desert. The black pepper is very pronounced in here. If you don't like black pepper, watch out. The turmeric is not bitter in any way. Sometimes turmeric in fragrance, in any sense, can come off a little bit bitter to me. That doesn't happen here. The tobacco, it's hard to detect, but if it's there, it's a wet tobacco that meshes very closely with that plum. And what do I get from this? I get the fantasy of being in a North African cafe in the evening, but the kind that serves, you know, a full meal, but with the little cafe tables, maybe in Morocco, and all of the wonderful spices and the meal you just ordered, feeling warm and satisfying, and filling in every way, filling your stomach, filling your senses, filling your heart. Tremendous fragrance, Alula by Penhaligons. Moving on, we've got, let's do Halfeti Leather from Penhaligons. I bought this one for my husband, Mark, and he just wasn't reaching for it. And I think it's because he's so obsessed with two of the others I've gotten for him. And it has nothing whatsoever to do with this fragrance. He loves it. He smelled it, but I think he's just kind of a creature of habit, and he goes for what's familiar. And this was new. So this is an EDP. This is 100 ml. It goes for $330. It's a 2020 release. The nose behind this is Christian Provenzano, and this is like an incense leather fragrance. Oh my God. These are all so exquisite. Let me just pause for a second. These to me are completely gender neutral. This leans masculine. Definitely. But I do not care. I can't get enough of it. So this is cardamom, plum, bergamot, citruses, lavender, cumin, rose, nutmeg, violet, cinnamon, jasmine leather, agarwood, oud, incense, cedar, patchouli. Now, what do I get when I smell this? Crazy. I get crazy nuts because I love it. I can't stop smelling myself. Oh gosh. So the plum in this is even bigger than the plum was in Alula. The cumin is very, very, very muted. So don't worry about that if you're not a fan of cumin. There's a leather and an incense in here, big time. But the cedar is also there, giving it that resinous, slightly citrus feel. The patchouli is nice and strong, but green. The cardamom mellows it out. The lavender really meshes nicely with that cedar. This is very warm. The cinnamon adds to the depth of the warmth, and the leather is not animalic in any way. Very satisfying. What I love so much about this is, like I said, it makes me crazy. I'll spray this on myself and I'm constantly smelling myself. I just can't stop. And that's why I got it from my husband, because I knew I'd be like, get over here, you know? And I still do that because I also love the other fragrances he wears. But once in a while, I'll get him to put this on, and I love it. And I love it on me too. So incense, leather, gorgeous, warmth, makes me think of my man, Halfeti Leather by Penhaligons. All right, let's go for Cairo. This is a 100 ml. It goes for $330. It's an EDP, and it is a 2019 original release. So the notes in this are rose, saffron, vanilla, cypriol, labdanum, sandalwood, patchouli, and cedar. Yes, lots of rose in this, but completely unisex. Yeah. It's a vanilla rose. Oh my gosh. Vanilla rose and resin. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's unisex. Yes, definitely. This is a man's rose if a man wanted to wear a rose forward fragrance. But for me, my husband wouldn't like to wear this. This leans too feminine for him. So I guess if I have to call the ball and say how it leans, this leans a little more feminine. I think what's so interesting about this fragrance too is I have a very hard time detecting saffron, but I think I may detect it in this. Really nice. The depth of the fragrances is astounding, or the notes, I should say, is astounding. When I smell this, when I take in a much deeper breath, you know, when you just breathe in more than, like far more than normal, I get the cedar. Wow. And the sandalwood. But if I just take a normal whiff, I don't get those. I get rose and vanilla and the labdanum. Very complex, beautiful. Where does this take me? Oh gosh. I imagine smelling like this if I were at a cafe in Quebec City. One of you wrote to me recently and mentioned being from Quebec City, and I said I've always wanted to go. My Quebec fantasy is it's like little Paris, Quebec, like little Paris. And, they have the amazing little cafes where you can sit outdoors and have some fabulous rich dessert that won't make you fat because it's French. And I smell amazing. The coffee smells amazing. The dessert smells amazing. And I'm wearing this. There's just something about it that image is in my head. I feel chic, beautiful, just thoroughly relaxed and enjoying the senses all around me. The senses of enjoying my senses, I guess is the better way to say it. All of the smells, the sights, the sounds, the tastes, all of it. That's where this takes me. Cairo by Penhaligons. All right, moving on. We've got, oh yes. I think this was my first Penhaligons. Babylon. Yes, it was. I remember now. Tested this, tested it. This was early on in my niche fragrance experience, and I had never experienced anything this exquisite. And this is what made me fall in love with the house and explore it further. So this is a 2019 release. This is 100 ml. It goes for $310, at least when I bought it. And it is an EDP. This is nutmeg, cypriol, saffron, coriander, vanilla, cedarwood, and sandalwood. Oh boy. This is an incredible spicy fragrance. It's that nutmeg, that coriander, and the vanilla. The vanilla is a very rich, waxy, heavy. Imagine, this is one of the best vanilla notes I've ever smelled. I don't know why I don't hear more about it, but this is a very spicy vanilla. And that nutmeg is just done so right. It's not a, holiday cookie or anything like that. It is a strong, respectable, but very well combined nutmeg note. Nutmeg can sometimes be a little too strong, and people overdo it in food, and I think sometimes in fragrance too, but this is not the case here. It is tempered completely by the beautiful sandalwood, but especially that very high quality, strong vanilla. It is heavenly. I still haven't smelled anything quite like it. I adore this fragrance. Warm, exotic, and yet familiar. This is completely comforting to me. I wear this when I want to be relaxed in my own home, curl up with a book, drink a spiced tea and with milk in it, and just enjoy my surroundings. That's what I get from this exquisite Babylon. Oh, so wonderful. Oh my goodness. Moving on to Terrible Teddy. There we go. All right. Why isn't this good? Okay, there we go. Terrible Teddy. This fragrance is the most recent from my purchases from this house. This is, it says 75 mil in my notes, but I got to be honest with you, I think this looks about the same size as these others. No, it's a little bit smaller. Okay, so for 75 mil, this is an EDP. It's a 2019 release, and it goes for $350. This is a Quinton Biche fragrance, so I'm a huge fan. This is incense, leather, and ambroxan. Yes. Very, very incense forward. The ambroxan for sure. And the leather, definitely. This definitely hits the nail on the head. It's a little bit smoky, mysterious. Does it make me feel penitent? Maybe. Definitely contemplative. This absolutely leans masculine. I don't care. I get some black pepper in here too. Not as strong as the other fragrance I discussed, Alula. It's not as strong, but there's a black pepper note. Very sophisticated, very confident, forthcoming, and yet older, wise. I get college professor out of this. Incredibly, incredibly comforting. This is someone who smokes a pipe and you just want to be around the person. They exude wisdom. They sit in big leather chairs and think interesting thoughts all day and then talk about them in front of large crowds. Terrible Teddy. Love it. I don't have my notes for the omniscient Mr. Thompson. I'm going to have to wing it, friends. But I love this one. I stalked it for a long, long time. This is probably a 75 mil. This probably came out somewhere between 2018 and 2024. Yes, had to. And this probably cost me about $300, and it is probably an EDP. How about that? Let me know. Let's wing this. Absolutely. Let me know in the comments how I do. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to look it up afterwards. I'm just going to let myself ride the wave. Vanilla, black pepper. Here's the thing that I want you to know. It is not the same as this. Amazing experience I've had, driven in large part by what I've learned from the House of Penhaligons. You may have noticed that a lot of the notes among these fragrances are the same, and yet each of them smells much, much differently. I think that's partly because either the fragrance houses gatekeep a bit, as they should, right? I get it. These are works of art, wonderful, mood-altering formulations that add so much to an experience. So I get not wanting to reveal everything. And I don't believe that the notes in these fragrances are necessarily reflective of the ingredients. I think the ingredients are used to create an accord or the experience of certain notes. In some instances, they actually do use derivatives of, black pepper or whatever, vanilla, etc. But a lot of times they don't. And so following the notes isn't necessarily going to let you know in advance exactly what a fragrance is going to smell like. And that's the case with Penhaligons. Again, lots of overlapping notes from fragrance to fragrance, and yet they all smell incredibly different. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. This makes me feel like cozying up with a good book as I drink a spiced tea, enjoying my surroundings in my home, maybe on a cold day or a day where it's foggy out and just less than ideal weather. And just soaking up the moment, letting my senses go and getting lost in the comfort I'm feeling in the book. The Omniscient Mr. Thompson. Next, we've got Eau the Audacity. Okay, this I got several years ago when I was not able to get Baby Cat by YSL. I'd read that this came close. It does, in my opinion. But I think this has something else going on. And the more time that goes by, the more this kind of sits and ages, the richer it gets. And okay, so let me just tell you, this is 100 ml. It's an EDP. I paid $295 for it, and it's a 2023 release. The notes in this are black pepper, alamy, orange blossom, frankincense, saffron, rose, vanilla, leather, and ambergris. I think what I get out of this is it's similar to Baby Cat, in my opinion, but it's got a resin. The frankincense is so expressive and delicious. The vanilla in this is taking a bit of a back seat to that frankincense. And I think the alamy gives it an additional richness. I really think there's something about that. The black pepper is fantastic. With Baby Cat, I get more of the leather meets vanilla. That's what jumps out at me. And you get that here, but it's way more resinous, and over time that resinous richness has come out, and the black pepper is getting more pronounced. But again, nothing like Mr. Thompson or Alula. Nothing. Oh, orange blossom. It's probably there, but faint. Same with the rose. Just to give it some, yeah, the rose. But it's just really nicely combined so that you get an experience that, even relative to Baby Cat, is somewhat singular. So I do not regret having both in my collection. I got Baby Cat quite by accident. It was a gift, and I love it, and I wear it. But I do reach for this probably more than Baby Cat. Oh, it's so wonderful. Have you compared the two? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious about that. Oh, the Audacity. And then we've got a travel of the Blazing Mr. Sam. Oh, love this one too. I will eventually get a full bottle of this. I think I'm going to request it for Christmas. So a 75 ml of this would go for about $350. It's an EDP. It's a 2018 release. I love it. So this is black pepper, cedar, cardamom, cinnamon, cumin, saffron, tobacco, vanilla, cedar, and patchouli. There's a brightness to this. And I think the brightness is the cedar, I think, which I said twice. I shouldn't have said it twice. My notes are terrible because I add to them over time. when I review a fragrance again, or I wear it after a certain amount of time, I'll pick up on something else. And probably what happened with this is I picked up on the cedar more, which I do. I probably wasn't getting it as much when I first smelled this. This to me is not black pepper forward. Cumin is really muted. Cardamom is definitely there, that pretty perfumey yet spicy warm, but you know, pretty. Cardamom is a pretty perfumey fragrance to me. Very nice in there. If you like cardamom forward fragrances, you'll love this. Everything else, yes, I think there's a good amount of patchouli in here, but not you know, hippie patchouli. It's really nicely combined with the other notes to give it a little bit of an anchor, but not an expressive patchouli fragrance, in my opinion. Cumin is super faint. Tobacco, yeah, in the beginning you get a blast of tobacco. The vanilla also is definitely there, but just as an anchor. So I'll say that the Blazing Mr. Sam is completely unisex, and Oh the Audacity leans a little bit feminine to me, but it's hard to say. It's unisex, but maybe just the slightest amount feminine. All right, moving on. I do not have notes on these because I have not gone full bottle, and I likely will not. So those are the ones I have that I loved enough to go full bottle. These, except for the Blazing Mr. Sam, which I will go full bottle soon. These I got as either testers or part of a discovery set, and this was one. This is Elizabethan Rose. It's very nice. It's a watery rose, a very conventional kind of soapy rose. It's nice. It's got a little bit of an herbaceous green, like a, oops, my lights are going down. Sorry, I didn't charge it enough. Maybe like a petitgrain in here too. It's nice. I'm not going to go full bottle. If you like rose, maybe it's worth checking out. I like rose. I don't happen to love that rose, so I won't go full bottle. You know what I hear a lot about is the Favorite. And I heard it compared to another fragrance that I really love. And that fragrance is Meteorites by Guerlain, and it's been discontinued. I loved it. I lost it in the move. It's similar, but it's less of a powdery iris, less of that makeup-y kind of smell, that cosmetic smell. But it's pretty, the Favorite. It's a floral. It's not jazzing me up, though, like Meteorites did. It's not doing it for me. So I probably won't move forward with this either, but I am curious to get your opinions. Have you compared the Favorite to Meteorites? Can't believe. So there's one that I love called Quercus, and I can't find the darn thing right now. Quercus was amazing. Loved it. Zippy, fun, citrus forward, kind of like a tart lemonade. Loved it. But it did not last on me. I want to say Quercus is a cologne level concentration, and it didn't last 5 minutes. There was another one that I loved, and I also can't find it, and it was called Juniper Sling. It smelled like a cocktail of some kind, right? Like, I guess gin, right? Because of the juniper. Doesn't gin have juniper in it? Let me know in the comments. I think it does. I adored it, wanted it immediately, just like Quercus, but it faded in seconds, and I tested it. I probably ran out because I had multiple testers of those, and they, as lovely as they were, they did not last, and for the price I couldn't justify it. So I adore many of the Penhaligon's fragrances, but as you can see, I'm just going to grab a few. I have so many testers, and this isn't even all of them, of Penhaligon's fragrances. Probably got like 15 in my hands right now, and there are more. So I keep testing them. I really do love the house. I enjoy almost all the fragrances I've sampled, but I've only been moved to go full bottle 8. This will be 9. And I think there are about 120 fragrances out of this British house. And that started up, you know, back in like 1870. So it's been around a long time. Allegedly a favorite of the royal household in Great Britain. All right, so this is my Penhaligon's collection. Let me know in the comments which ones you love. If you aren't yet a subscriber to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.